When God is calling you, one of the first signs you will experience is a deep stirring in your spirit. This is not just an ordinary feeling of restlessness or dissatisfaction. It is a divine awakening within you. It is as if something inside of you is shifting, pulling you toward a greater purpose, even if you do not fully understand what that purpose is yet. This stirring is God's way of preparing your heart, mind, and soul for the journey ahead. You may find yourself feeling uneasy in places where you once felt comfortable. The things that used to excite you may no longer bring the same fulfillment. Conversations that once engaged you may start to feel empty. You might start questioning your current path, sensing that there is something more, something greater that you are meant to pursue. This is not random. It is a divine nudge, a spiritual invitation to step into the next level of your calling. This stirring often comes with a sense of urgency. You may wake up in the middle of the night with thoughts racing through your mind about a new direction, a dream, or a purpose that has been hidden inside you for years. God is awakening something in you that has been dormant, and He is placing a new desire in your heart. This is why people who are being called by God often feel like they are outgrowing their current situations, as if they no longer fit into the life they once lived. It is because God is shifting them into something greater. The stirring in your spirit may also cause a deep longing for more time with God. You may feel drawn to prayer, worship, or studying His Word in a way you never have before. Scriptures that once seemed ordinary now feel deeply personal. Sermons and messages seem to speak directly to you, as if God is confirming what He is doing inside of you. You may also notice that your sensitivity to His voice increases. He begins speaking to you through dreams, through people, and through unexpected moments in your daily life. This divine stirring is not always comfortable. In fact, it can be unsettling because it disrupts the routine, the familiar, and the predictable. It challenges you to think differently, to dream bigger, and to step out of the places where you have settled. Many people try to ignore this stirring, afraid of what it might mean, afraid of the changes it may require. But the more you resist, the stronger it becomes. God will not let you remain in a place that no longer aligns with your destiny. Often, this stirring comes before a major shift or breakthrough. It is a sign that God is calling you higher, preparing you for a new assignment, and positioning you for something greater. The discomfort you feel is not a sign of something being wrong. It is evidence that something new is being birthed in your life. God is shifting your mindset, stretching your faith, and setting you apart for the purpose He has designed for you. When God is calling you, one of the most noticeable signs is the sudden disruptions in your life. These disruptions are not coincidences or accidents. They are divine interventions designed to shift you from where you are to where God needs you to be. They often come when you have settled into comfort, routine, or a path that does not align with His greater purpose for your life. These disruptions can take many forms. Sometimes they appear as closed doors. Opportunities you were counting on suddenly fall through. Relationships that once seemed solid begin to fade. Or situations that once made sense now feel uncertain and unstable. What once felt secure may now feel shaky, and you may find yourself questioning why things are no longer working as they used to. These disruptions can be painful, confusing, and even frustrating, but they are often God's way of redirecting you towards something better. There are also times when divine disruptions come through personal struggles and hardships. You may experience loss, unexpected challenges, or seasons of difficulty that test your faith. In the moment, it may feel like everything is falling apart, but in reality, God is removing what no longer serves you and making room for something greater. The very things that seem like setbacks are often setups for the breakthrough that is coming. Divine disruptions can also come through people. God may bring new relationships into your life, mentors, friends, or spiritual leaders who guide you toward his calling. At the same time, he may also remove certain individuals who are hindering your growth, even if it is painful. Sometimes the people you rely on may suddenly become distant, and the friendships or partnerships you thought would last forever may no longer align with where God is taking you. These shifts are not meant to harm you, but to ensure that the people surrounding you are those who will support and uplift your journey. Another way divine disruptions manifest is through an internal shift. You may wake up one day and realize that what once satisfied you no longer does. Your goals, desires, and passions begin to change. Things that once brought you joy may now feel empty, and you may feel a deep yearning for something more meaningful. This is God stirring your spirit, nudging you toward his higher purpose and pushing you beyond what you thought was possible. When divine disruptions occur, it is easy to resist them. You may try to cling to what is familiar, fight to keep things the way they were, or question why everything seems to be changing. But resisting God's shift only prolongs the process. The sooner you recognize that these disruptions are his way of guiding you, the sooner you can embrace the new path he is leading you toward. God's disruptions are always intentional. They may not make sense in the moment, but they are designed to shape you, grow you, and prepare you for what is coming. He never disrupts without a purpose, and he never removes without the intention of replacing it with something far greater. These moments of divine interruption are not signs of abandonment, but evidence that he is actively working in your life, moving you toward the destiny he has prepared for you. When God is calling you, one of the most profound changes you will experience is an increase in spiritual sensitivity. This is not just an emotional shift or a fleeting feeling. It is a deep and ongoing transformation in how you perceive, understand, and respond to the presence of God in your life. Your awareness of his voice, his movements, and his direction becomes sharper, and you begin to recognize his guidance in ways you may not have noticed before. One of the first signs of increased spiritual sensitivity is a heightened awareness of God's presence. You may find yourself drawn to prayer more often, feeling a deep need to be in communion with him. Worship may begin to feel more personal and powerful, and moments of stillness become filled with a sense of peace and connection. The things of God that once seemed distant or routine now carry a deeper meaning, and your heart becomes more receptive to his leading. You may also notice that your hunger for his word grows stronger. Scripture that once seemed familiar now speaks to you in new and profound ways. Certain verses stand out to you, resonating with your current situation as if God is speaking directly to you through them. You may begin to seek wisdom and understanding more diligently, not just reading the Bible for knowledge, but allowing it to transform your heart and mind. Increased spiritual sensitivity also manifests through a deeper conviction in your spirit. Things that once seemed acceptable may now feel out of alignment with where God is leading you. Your discernment becomes sharper, and you become more aware of the difference between what is godly and what is a distraction. You may feel an inner resistance towards certain environments, conversations, or habits that no longer serve your spiritual growth. This is not a result of personal judgment, but of the Holy Spirit refining and redirecting you. Another sign of heightened spiritual sensitivity is that you begin to recognize God's voice more clearly. He may speak to you in ways you never noticed before, through dreams, through sermons, through people, or even through small, quiet moments in your daily life. You may experience divine confirmations where the same message keeps appearing repeatedly, affirming what God is trying to reveal to you. Your ability to distinguish his voice from the noise of the world becomes stronger, and you develop a deeper trust in his leading. You may also become more sensitive to spiritual warfare. As you draw closer to God, you become more aware of the battles happening in the unseen realm. The things that used to go unnoticed now stand out, and you recognize when the enemy is trying to bring confusion, distraction, or doubt into your mind. At the same time, you become more aware of God's protection, his provision, and his power working in your life. Your prayers become more intentional, and your reliance on him grows stronger as you learn to stand firm in faith. Another key aspect of increased spiritual sensitivity is a deeper compassion for others. As your heart aligns more closely with God's, you begin to see people through his eyes. You may feel a stronger burden for those who are hurting, lost, or in need. You become more patient, more forgiving, and more willing to extend grace. Your ability to sense what others are going through increases, and God may use you to speak life, encouragement, and wisdom into their situation. There is also a noticeable shift in how you handle decisions. When God is calling you, you no longer make choices based solely on logic, emotions, or personal desires. Instead, you seek his guidance in everything. You become more sensitive to his prompting, knowing when to move forward and when to wait. Your dependence on his wisdom grows, and you begin to trust that he is directing your steps, even when you do not fully understand the path ahead. As your spiritual sensitivity increases, you may also notice that certain distractions begin to lose their hold on you. The things that once consumed your time and energy may no longer feel important. Worldly desires that once seemed appealing may now feel empty compared to the fulfillment of walking in alignment with God. Your focus shifts from temporary satisfaction to eternal purpose, and your priorities begin to reflect God's calling on your life. This increased awareness of God's presence, his voice, and his direction is a sign that he is drawing you closer. It is an invitation to go deeper, to trust him more fully, and to walk in the purpose he has set before you. Divine disruptions can also come through people. God may bring new relationships into your life, mentors, friends, or spiritual leaders who guide you toward his calling. At the same time, he may also remove certain individuals who are hindering your growth, even if it is painful. Sometimes the people you rely on may suddenly become distant, and the friendships or partnerships you thought would last forever may no longer align with where God is taking you. These shifts are not meant to harm you, but to ensure that the people surrounding you are those who will support and uplift your journey. Another way divine disruptions manifest is through an internal shift. You may wake up one day and realize that what once satisfied you no longer does. Your goals, desires, and passions begin to change. Things that once brought you joy may now feel empty, and you may feel a deep yearning for something more meaningful. This is God stirring your spirit, nudging you toward his higher purpose, and pushing you beyond what you thought was possible. When divine disruptions occur, it is easy to resist them. You may try to cling to what is familiar, fight to keep things the way they were, or question why everything seems to be changing. But resisting God's shift only prolongs the process. The sooner you recognize that these disruptions are his way of guiding you, the sooner you can embrace the new path he is leading you toward. God's disruptions are always intentional. They may not make sense in the moment, but they are designed to shape you, grow you, and prepare you for what is coming. He never disrupts without a purpose. and he never removes without the intention of replacing it with something far greater. These moments of divine interruption are not signs of abandonment, but evidence that he is actively working in your life, moving you toward the destiny he has prepared for you. When God is calling you, one of the clearest signs is the appearance of opportunities that align with his purpose for your life. These are not just any opportunities. They are ones that feel tailor-made for your growth, development, and the fulfillment of the calling placed upon you. These moments are orchestrated by God, designed to take you one step closer to the destiny he has prepared. These opportunities often come unexpectedly. They may present themselves in ways you never imagined, through doors you never knocked on, or through people you never anticipated meeting. What sets these opportunities apart is that they feel purposeful, significant, and align with the inner stirrings God has placed in your heart. They resonate deeply with your soul, giving you a sense that you are stepping into something much bigger than yourself. Sometimes these opportunities challenge you to step outside your comfort zone. They may require you to develop new skills, embrace new responsibilities, or take a leap of faith into unfamiliar territory. Though they may seem intimidating at first, there is an undeniable sense of peace and confirmation that comes with them. God does not call the equipped. He equips the called. When an opportunity is divinely appointed, he will give you the grace, wisdom, and resources to walk into it with confidence. These opportunities also have a way of aligning with the gifts, passions, and talents God has placed within you. They may open doors for you to use your voice, creativity, leadership, or compassion in ways that serve others and glorify him. You may find yourself in positions where you are able to make a greater impact, reach more people, or contribute to a cause that deeply resonates with your spirit. God never wastes the gifts he has given you. When he calls you, he provides opportunities that allow you to fully walk in those gifts. It is important to recognize that not every opportunity is from God. Sometimes distractions can come disguised as opportunities, leading you away from your true purpose rather than toward it. That is why discernment is crucial. The right opportunities will not only bring success, but also spiritual fulfillment. They will not compromise your values, force you to step outside of your integrity, or lead you into environments that pull you away from God. Instead, they will bring clarity, peace, and a deeper connection to his will for your life. These divinely aligned opportunities will also come with confirmation. You may receive repeated signs, scriptures, or words from others that reinforce the direction God is leading you in. Things will begin to fall into place in ways that only God could orchestrate. Resources will appear at the right time, the right people will come into your life, and the path that once seemed uncertain will begin to unfold with divine clarity. When God is calling you, challenges will often arise, not to break you, but to refine you. These difficulties are not punishments or random obstacles. They are intentional tests designed to strengthen your faith, deepen your character, and prepare you for the greater purpose God has for your life. Refinement is a necessary process because stepping into your calling requires a version of you that is stronger, wiser, and more spiritually mature than before. One of the first ways challenges refine you is by exposing areas in your life that need growth. Trials often reveal weaknesses, insecurities, and blind spots that you may not have noticed before. Through these struggles, God brings things to the surface that need to be surrendered, healed, or transformed. Whether it is impatience, pride, fear, or a lack of trust, God uses adversity to strip away anything that could hinder you from walking fully in his purpose. Challenges also refine your faith. It is easy to trust God when everything is going smoothly, but true faith is built in seasons of uncertainty, difficulty, and waiting. When prayers seem unanswered, when doors closed, or when things do not go according to plan, you are forced to rely on God in ways you never have before. These moments teach you endurance, perseverance, and unwavering trust in his promises. The more you lean on him through trials, the stronger your faith becomes, and the more you realize that he is in control, even when you cannot see the full picture. Another way challenges refine you is by developing resilience. Growth requires discomfort, and every obstacle you overcome adds another layer of strength to your character. You learn how to navigate setbacks without losing hope, how to stand firm in the face of opposition, and how to keep pushing forward despite difficulties. Refinement is about endurance. Learning how to keep going, not in your own strength, but in the strength that comes from God. Difficult seasons also refine your perspective. Challenges shift your focus from temporary circumstances to eternal purpose. When everything is comfortable, it is easy to get distracted by worldly desires, but hardship has a way of making you reevaluate what truly matters. You begin to see life differently, valuing growth over comfort, purpose over convenience, and God's will over personal ambition. This shift in perspective helps you align your life more closely with his plan and allows you to see trials as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Through challenges, God also refines your ability to surrender. Many times, struggles come when we are holding onto control too tightly. The more we try to force things to happen our way, the more we resist God's refining process. But challenges teach us to let go, to trust that his plans are greater than ours, and to surrender our fears, desires, and expectations to him. True refinement happens when we stop resisting the process and allow God to shape us according to his perfect will. Another crucial aspect of refinement through challenges is the transformation of your heart. Trials teach you humility, compassion, and dependence on God. They strip away selfishness and replace it with selflessness. They take away pride and replace it with humility. They remove bitterness and replace it with grace. The more you go through, the more you understand the struggles of others, making you more patient, empathetic, and kind. Challenges do not just change your circumstances, they change who you are. God also uses challenges to strengthen your prayer life. When everything is going well, it is easy to pray casually or inconsistently, but in times of difficulty, your prayers become deeper, more intentional, and more desperate for God's presence. Struggles push you into deeper communion with him, teaching you to seek him not just for what he can do, but for who he is. As your prayer life deepens, your relationship with him grows stronger, and you develop a greater sensitivity to his voice. Challenges refine your obedience to God. Sometimes God calls us to places, tasks, or seasons that are uncomfortable. He may ask us to take a leap of faith, to step out of our comfort zones, or to let go of something we thought we needed. These moments test our willingness to obey, even when it is difficult or does not make sense. Refinement happens when we learn to obey without hesitation, trusting that his ways are higher than ours.